What up, Homedawgs? My name is Gokey Gamer, coach of the Milwaukee Medichams, and welcome everybody to Week 7, the final week of the regular season of the NBBL, where this week we're going to be taking on none other than the Necro Stevo, coach of the Victorian Shadow and master of the Shadows. Here are the teams. Plop! Overall, this is a really scary team. I'm really scared of Lycanroc. Lycanroc is by far and away the scariest threat on this team, and we are going to go ahead and hop into the battle now. We do see the Lycanroc, we see Swallow, Uxie, Drifblim, Florges, and Sandslash. No Bisharp makes me extremely happy. Unfortunately, there is no Kilowattrel and there is no Araquanid. I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with no Breloom and no Thwackey as well. So, okay, this is not the 6 that I was necessarily expecting, but I am very tempted to go ahead and leave Slacking here because I really want to fire off my Terror Ground because, believe it or not, Slacking is my check for the Lycanroc. It is my best check, 100%. I'm also a bit nervous because I'm not running Boots on my Volcanion and there is a Uxie there. I knew I was running that risk. Sandslash could also be an issue because if it's Terra Ghost, then it could be like a hazard stacking set, which does scare me a little bit. And yeah, in general, it is a little bit scary. So we're gonna be very careful. Good luck, have fun to my opponent. Let's freaking do this. If we win, we're guaranteed in playoffs. If we lose, we're not necessarily out, but it doesn't look great. So I also know that Necro Stevo is hoping for another win. Unfortunately, they're out of playoffs at this point, but they are obviously just wanting to make their win-loss ratio as good as possible. So we're gonna give it our all. They're gonna give it their all. Let's do it. Good luck, have fun. Let's freaking do this, baby. Let's go. They might not get their thing in. Okay, they just barely got it in time. Okay. I did think about kind of bringing Arboliva. I thought about it a little bit, but it didn't really check Lycanroc that much. And also, if, like, Thwackey came, then it was going to have a harder matchup against Thwackey. So, it's going to be really interesting. I also didn't bring Cryogonal. I am a little bit of afraid because I just recently saw a game where Sandrush, Sandslash put in work, so I'm a little bit scared. We're going to see Uxie as the lead. That makes sense. So, Slacking is going to be the lead here. Uxie versus Slacking. Knockoff is going to absolutely nuke you, and I can get a free Terra off here. I'm just going to click Knockoff just because I can do that for free, and there's not much you really want to do about it. If I can just nuke this thing, that would be phenomenal. And you can't paralyze me because I'm Terra Ground, so it's not going to work, so that's really great. And yeah, this is great turn 1 for me. This is kind of what I was expecting. They might think I'm Choice Banded as well. I think a Choice Band set would kill. Let's see, Choice Band. Yes, it definitely would kill. So they might be thinking about that as well. Obviously, we're not max attack. We are adamant, but we're not max attack. So we are actually like very max defense and then 72 in HP. Running adamant, obviously, with the leftovers because we can always tank whatever the Lycanroc wants to throw at us if it is banded. So that is kind of our goal. We are going to see the hard swap here, actually. So I'm hoping to see Drifblim. Drifblim here would be absolutely phenomenal. It is going to be the Drifblim. This is already going extremely well because my check for this is Farigiraf with Sap Sipper. You can't set up against a Farigiraf that has Nightshade, and you can't heal with Sap Sipper active. So, and we're also running the physical set once again, and especially because there's no Bisharp, the Psychic Fangs is very free. So we're going to Terra Ground here immediately, just so that way we're stronger against Lycanroc. We're going to fire off a knockoff here. Boom! Beautiful. And that just straight up knocks out Drifblim. Wow, I was not expecting that. That is crazy. Let's go. Drifblim is already dead. Love to see that. And it was weakness policy too. That's also great because it doesn't tell anything about my Slacking set. So that is absolutely insane for us that we knocked that out immediately. And I also accidentally deleted them on. I deleted Florges. Florges. There we go. Beautiful. So my guess is Uxie is probably going to come back in to set up the rocks. I think that makes the most sense here. I kind of wish I brought Water Move on Volcanion now. I debated it because I was like, do I want to run like both Heat Crash and Flare Blitz? Or do I want to just run Flare Blitz? And I decided that most likely it would be harder for me to get in a situation where I could set up like a Water Move effectively. So I figured, you know what, I'm just going to do this. Florges, I don't really know what wants to check Lycanroc, or not Lycanroc. I don't know what wants to check the, whatchamacallit, the Volcanion at this point. So that's also pretty interesting to me. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. We're going to see Knuckle Dust. I believe that's the Sandslash. That is going to be Sandslash here. So that is not great, but it's fine. I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go into Lucha. I think that's just a very free Lucha switch because we are pretty bulky. If you go for knockoff, that's fine. We lose our item, but that activates on Burden, which is great. I could set up a Swords Dance as well. I could do a couple things here, so I'm very curious to see what they want to do. Let's go and do this thing and let's see what they go for here. Where's the rocks? Okay, so that's actually very free for me. I think what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go ahead and set up an SD, and I'm going to just start nuking stuff. So SD time. This might be a little greedy, but I don't think so. though. I think the check for this is going to be Yuxi, and I'm going to nuke this with a whatchamacallit, so that's going to be great. Obviously, depending on the spread, it won't kill, but also not only has a high chance to crit, it has a decently high chance to flinch. So both of those things happening, I'm willing to roll the dice there. I'm absolutely more than happy to roll the dice. So they did set up their rocks, which tells me that Yuxi probably doesn't have rocks at this point then, so that is fine by me. We could be revealing defog as well, because, you know, we have a HAWLUCHA that they could know defog. So I'm very curious to see what they want to do here. They could opt to stay in as well, so hopefully HAWLUCHA can pop off here. We do have a stored power Jolteon set, which is kind of fun. I brought that just in case I was able to pop it off. Florges is going to be the most likely switch against that, or Sandslash is still at this point. We're going to see Selenite, that's going to be the Yuxi. I see this, and then I'm going to go for a, I'm going to go for the Sky Attack and just absolutely wreck this thing to the ends of the earth, and hopefully pick up the kill. That'd be pretty awesome if we did. That would be pretty awesome if we did, baby. I would love to see a dead Yuxi on my screen, or a flinched Yuxi, because I think if Yuxi, like, flinches, I think we just win the game. I think they're definitely pretty scared now at this point. They're definitely scared, so we're looking really good here. We do fire off the Sky Attack here. Bada bing, bada boom. Become cloaked in a harsh light. We'd love to see that. Let's see what happens here. Let's roll the dice, baby! Bada bing, bada boom! Let's go! Yes! And that seems to be offensive Yuxi as well. That seems to be offensive Yuxi. So, HAWLUCHA's looking pretty good. HAWLUCHA's looking pretty good right now, guys. HAWLUCHA's looking good. HAWLUCHA's looking pretty luchador, if I do say so myself. I don't know what the frick I'm saying now, but you know what? I've had a long day today. I'm frustrated at the day. I'm happy that this is how things are going for me right now. I am really sorry to Necro Steve though. I'm really, really sorry, but that wasn't hacks. I think that was just a max roll. So, well, not even a max roll. It must have been offensive Yuxi. That has to be my guess, is it was offensive Yuxi. So the fact that they swapped out into Driftblim versus Slacking is massive for me. Dude, Slacking hits like a truck. I still can't believe I one-shot that Driftblim. That's crazy to me, because I'm not even like max attack invested. Like, I am adamant, but I'm only like 184 IVs, so that's crazy. Regardless, we're looking absolutely stellar now. So we don't have an item. Unburden is active. The best thing that can probably switch in here is the Sandslash and Terra Ghost, but I'm always clicking Acrobatics against that, and you can't kill me with anything. It is going to be the Sandslash. Acrobatics has a solid chance to kill. I'm going to click that button here, and be happy about it. We're gonna go for the Acrobatics. Bada bing, bada boom. Does it kill? Not quite. So it is bulky or Sandslash. That's fine. Leech Life is not gonna do anything. I love that tech, though. That is really cool tech, probably for the Arboliva. That would make sense to me. So I'm just gonna click Acrobatics again. I want to save my close combats as much as I'm able to. Honestly, I guess I could set up another... Okay, wait. Hang on a second. Let me look up Swalot. Swalot can still live a hit for me, so if they're going for Leech Life here, I think I will just go ahead and click SD again, because I think they're going to try to pick up... They're going to let me... Yeah, I think that's my best play. So that way I can guarantee that the Swalot doesn't, like, go nuts on me. So we're going to see another Leech Life. That's fine. I could set up one more, because if you are max I think if you were max defense Swalot, you would have swapped into it by now. You're only going for Leech Life, so I think I will go ahead and set up one more time, actually, because I don't think there's anything you can... If you're only clicking Leech Life here, there's nothing you can do to put me in range of the Excel Rock from a banded Lycanroc, so this should be fine. We're gonna go for one more. We're set at +6, just so that way it's for free. I'm really sorry that I'm doing this, but considering that they're only going for Leech Life, I just want to play it safe. I'm really, really, really sorry. This is just the best play for me to make, I think, at this point, and now, this is where I spam Acrobatics and win the game. We love to see it, baby. Let's go. We're firing Acrobatics here. Bada bing, bada boom. And that is dead Sandslash. That is great for me. So, Lycanroc, Dusk. I still have switches for Lycanroc Dusk, so that is really, really great for me. And Accelerock should kill an offensive set. Florges should die to an Acrobatics, I think. My guess, that's really pretty shiny, by the way. I love that. Yeah, you should die to an Acrobatics here, so I'm just gonna click it here. Bada bing, bada boom. Beautimous. Let's go. Love to see it, baby. And I don't want to speak too soon, because, you know, we are at +6, but I don't want to speak too soon, because some Lycanroc could have, like, some really cool tech, but just to be safe, I just want to go with this. We're gonna see the Lycanroc switch in here. That makes sense, so let me just double check here. Accelerock does that the most, 40 to 47%. Acrobatics should always kill. It even kills a max HP set, so I'm going to click Acrobatics here, because I don't think you're going to be max HP, max defense. We are going to see the Accelerock. It's going to do a little bit of chip. We're going to fire off an Acrobatics here, and that should be a dead Lycanroc. The reason I did this was just in case it was Focus Sash. because I didn't want to go for close combat. They were focus sash, and then they, you know, live, and then they kill me in return. Let's go! HAWLUCHA finally getting the game to pop off. Miss Pilkington is Miss Pilkington, sorry. My apologies, madame. I apologize for that. But, GG's to NecroStevo. We got really, really lucky, I think. I don't know, like, what the certain sets were, but, HAWLUCHA just went crazy. I'm glad HAWLUCHA had a game where it popped off, because I was really hoping for that. I was hoping for that a lot. Unfortunately, Jolteon didn't get to do anything. I was hoping for Jolteon to pop off too, but we will gladly take that. That is a 6-0 sweep from ya boy. Great way to end off the season and boot us up in the rankings quite a bit. We're guaranteed playoffs at this point, which is awesome. I think Carlos, has to win a game as well. I think we'll be ahead of Carlos now at this point because we were initially tied. So we'll be ahead of the team captain, I think, by this point. Unless the team captain also 6-0s, in which case, let's go. Carlos, as long as he wins his game, he'll also make playoffs. And I think Sin, there's a chance for him to make playoffs. So it's going to be very close for our team, but we make playoffs. That's what matters. And I think that's going to do it. So thank you all so much for watching. I know this is a really short one. GG's once again to NecroStevo. Please be sure to check him out down in the description below. I can't wait to see his side of the battle. Again, NecroStevo, I'm really, really sorry about that. I'm sorry for setting up the +6. There was just, I needed to make sure that I lived against a max defense Swalot, so I apologize. I didn't want the Swalot to do anything crazy to me, but yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. So thank you all so much for watching. I really, really hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Peace out, mates!